two. Okay, we're live.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here today. A little late, but better late than never, as they say, as the saying goes. We are very fortunate today, from the wonderful Summerlin office, fresh back from his national competition and all that. I want to get into a little bit of your hobby too, Matt. Okay. All right. Are we good?
I can
Okay,
hear
I'm
you.
sorry. Yeah. Okay, here. Okay, Matt Suter, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! All right, Matt. That's what I was waiting for. We still have the studio. Okay, Matt, tell them a little about yourself before we get in depth. Tell them a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, all that good stuff, please.
I got licensed into 2011, just to kind of do my own transactions in real estate. Went full time probably close to the end of 2013 is when I would say I decided to make a career out of real estate. Became the number one individual agent with Berkshire in 2016.
Right.
Started a team at the end of 2017, and then just been from there on out, just trying to keep plugging with the team. Get this better and better.
Yeah, you were number one as an individual agent. Too. That's a huge accomplishment too, because we have about 1,100 agents, and that's awesome. And then, what number were you last year as a team? Weren't you?
I got to be honest with you. I don't even know what number we were as a team
I want to
last
say
year.
nine. I want to say nine. I'm pretty sure it was nine, but I was
Okay.
one. Yeah, pretty sure it was nine. So that's still incredibly awesome.
Those are the
Awesome.
kind of things that after you do the number one 2016, you just don't pay attention. I'm more pay attention to the money that's in my bank account than those numbers.
That's recognition, right? Recognizing the numbers in your. I agree with you 100%. By the way. All right. So, what's the team goal this year, my man? Just so they have an idea of what kind of business you plan on doing.
So to be honest with you, so last year we did 66 million.
Yep.
This year it's more of a structured goal I have. So I want to get some things kind of buttoned up a little bit more with the team, get things moving in a little bit of a smoother fashion, a little more self-sustainable. But our number goal, it probably isn't that much of a jump from last year, but our number goal is 75 million, and anything above that would be fantastic. But we've got some other goals that we're trying to do as a team together. That's not necessarily numbers.
Yeah, well, and it's still about a 15% increase, which is great. And coming off the best year in the history of real estate, this year's a slight little tick off of that, but not much. But I'm sure you're starting to see inventory last a little longer, probably a little easier to help your buyers find a house, right?
Yeah, you've definitely been seeing that. Probably about the Easter time frame, you saw almost, I wouldn't call it a screeching halt, but it was close to certain listings that were out there, that would have probably sold with multiple offers. They started to hang out there a little bit longer. So you definitely saw that right about, I'd say, Easter, the week of spring break is when you saw it.
Yeah, definitely true. Definitely true. So what do give them a thing, in order to go from number one agent, run a successful team. I mean, I talk to you all the time, so we have great conversations, but I just give an idea of what you need to do in order to have all that happen. What are some of the most important things that you focus on to be that successful?
It's a lot of commitment for sure.
Yep.
Especially as you're growing the team. I mean, it definitely takes back some of my own personal production. Obviously last year was really good, but the years prior to that, after we started the team, I haven't had as great of production because you're trying to help everybody out with things, which is not a bad thing, but it also gives you a little bit more free time, on the weekends. But it's been good. Just I think the biggest thing is consistency. Staying up with stuff and constantly working, being there for the team, helping them out, and just being, I'm an open book, whether it's my team or anybody else that walks into the office. There's no secrets to this game. It's just about working hard. At the end of the day, it's a customer service business. So working hard and just treating everybody, whether it's an agent on the other side of the transaction, a client, with the utmost respect, and that we are professionals. And I think that's separates us from a lot of other people because just we bring that professionalism to the table.
Yeah, that's really obvious. You guys, I mean, your customer service, and probably one of the biggest adjustments for you as a top producer individually is really, because what you just said, you become a coach. You know, um, your team associates don't move at the same pace necessarily, or have the same experience and education. So probably one of the biggest adjustments you had to make is not only doing production yourself, but helping the people on your team do a decent amount of production, right?
Yeah, there's only so many hours in the day, so if you got to be helping them, doing your own work, staying up with the times. That's a big thing too. You can't get caught up in, technology is moving so fast. You could be 6 months and be in the dark with stuff. So staying up with that, and then still having a life outside of real estate, to keep you motivated and engaged. And I do a lot of things outside of real estate too, so very time consuming. So I think time management also for me personally, I think I got pretty good time management, as far as staying in the gym, staying working out, doing extracurriculars, keeping up with the team, doing my own production, and then just keeping up with the business in general, which is important.
Right.
Knowing everything that's going on, knowing, the change in loan limits, knowing the different things that you could help your clients, be well informed when you're doing a transaction.
Yep, absolutely. And speaking of outside, you just came back from quite a trip, and I know I have some really killer videos with you swimming with the sharks. I probably would not be able to do that because of being sheer terror. But you jump right in there. You're like, tell them a little about your hobby, which where you do that spearfishing. I said it was so exciting.
Yeah, some of the sharks we were with this last week, they're just big puppy dogs. So you just gotta, be in the water, show them that you're the bigger
White
fish, and they'll kind of leave you alone. But yeah, the one of the big things I've always done different kind of sports to stay engaged, something I can compete in. So it's outside of real estate, something physical can always compete in. I've always done something different. I always like to change things up and do things that are athletic, challenges. And so one of the things I started doing a few years ago was competing in spearfishing competitions. So I do freshwater spearfishing competitions, and been doing that for probably 4 or 5 years now. And we just got back from the U.S. Nationals, where I took fourth place as an individual, and then me and my team member took third place as in the mixed division. So that's a male and a female division. And then
Right,
right after that,
and
we
you
went for Hawaii.
didn't you finish second once, twice as well?
Last year in the World Championships, I took second as a man.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
amazing, actually. Awesome stuff. And people have to
it was
understand
fun.
what's involved. I mean, that means that he's not using a tank with oxygen in it. You're holding your breath. Like you have to practice holding your breath, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's it's hard. It's I've done, like I said, a lot of athletics throughout the years, but it gets a whole lot difficult because it is very, very mental holding your breath. It's physical, obviously, of course, too, but just the aspect of trying to hold your breath and then get down there and still shoot fish. It's a little bit different than just being a natural free diver, because you still got to be able to shoot the fish as well, too. So it's a lot of fun. It's difficult. It's fun. It's good people. And so it's just something to get away and do. And then you get to see cool stuff. Like the time in Hawaii I just got back from, that was more leisure, and that was fun. Swimming with oceanic white tips out in the open with no cage. It was pretty wild.
With no cage. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because usually you're in a river, right? Like, really nice, like the Colorado River and so forth, where it's really, you can see, I mean, in the ocean, you can see really well too, but different type of fish in the river versus, river lake versus the ocean, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different game. Yeah, out here we do do lake meet some, but obviously it's getting lower. Yeah, it's getting a little gnarly, but we do a lot in the Colorado River where you have good visibility. But most other lakes around the country, the visibility is not that great, especially when you start getting into the warmer months, because you get boat turbulence and then algae blooms and little plankton blooms. So the visibility in the lakes isn't that great, but in the ocean it's phenomenal.
Right. Yeah. Probably because yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. Even when I'm in the ocean, I can see the visibility is incredible, which is good when you're swimming with sharks because it's nice if you can see them, so you don't end up being a meal.
Yeah, it's nuts though, because you can get 100-foot visibility on the ocean, and those guys come up quick. They come out of nowhere because you're just looking at blue. So you definitely, when you're swimming, you're looking all over. Your head's on a swivel because you never know when they're going to pop up. I was telling you that earlier. I dove on some to get some footage of two sharks that were hanging out together, eating some of the bait we threw out. And I just looked to my right, and this other one was coming to check me out. But as soon as he sees your eyes, they realize, oh, you're a predator as well, and they'll take off. But they're sneaky. They can definitely be sneaky. They'll come at you and test you. And like I said, you got to show them you're the bigger fish and poke them sometimes. It's fun.
What do you do? Give them a little like flex when they look at you?
Well, kind of. You just swim at them and show them, hey, you're not scared. You know, I got obviously holding a spear gun as well too, so that helps a lot. So I got a big stick that I can poke them with and keep them away. But yeah, they'll come at you and they'll try to test you. I mean, when we were out there, my buddy had to poke one away because he came right at him. You know, kept getting closer and closer. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks very interesting, and like you said, you got to be in shape for it. You got to be. I mean, you guys practice. You do all kinds of things to make sure you can hold your breath for almost 2 minutes, right, underwater at one time, shooting fish, bringing them to the top. It's a pretty amazing thing.
It's fun, keeps you in shape, and it's good food too. You know, we get out there and we can go down the river and shoot a bunch of striper, and I got food for a couple of weeks for me and the fam.
Yeah, I noticed when you're on social media that a lot of people love it, but then there's a few of them out there that tell you, "Oh, it has a face." I'm trying to think of her name, but anyway, they give you a little bit of a hard time because you're shooting fish too. But hey, you know what? It's a sport. It's a wonderful sport too. It looks like a lot of fun.
It's a great sport, and it's good food. It's an easy way to get it, but yeah, you get a lot of people, especially some pole fishermen, that think it's cheating. But I say go sit on the bottom of the river and wait for the fish to come at you and tell me how easy that is and how it's cheating.
Then you got to shoot them, and then you got to reel them in with the. It's crazy. That looks like a super massive stress relieving activity, and then you're swimming too, which actually is incredible for your body too. So looks like fun.
Yeah, when
You
you're
got to
holding your breath on the bottom, you're not thinking
yeah,
about a bad transaction that just happened. You're thinking
right.
about a whole lot of other stuff, especially when sharks are around.
Especially, and then you're doing it with a group of people, so you always have backup to the backup, which is good because you never know what can happen. So I think that's important too. All right, awesome. All right, so obviously, you know, um, dedication, commitment, those are things that are not problems for you because even your hobby requires massive commitment. But give them, okay, so I want to be successful in today's business, and you've been doing it for well over 10 years now, full time, like you said earlier, but you've been doing it longer than that when you were buying your own properties. But give them a couple things, like what are the top three things you would say in order to be successful in this business?
I'll tell you some things that I think I faulted at to start,
Okay.
which I think my business would be even better right now if I did these couple of things. Number one is having a good database in CRM and keeping in touch with that. That was something I delayed on quite a bit. I used it, but I didn't utilize it as efficiently as you should. So that was a big thing. I do that. I use that a lot now, and it's helped a ton. I push my guys on my team to use that more because time management is one thing. I think, like I told you, I got really, really good time management, but that just frees up so much more time by utilizing the technology that we're getting here in the real estate game. That's a big one.
Yeah.
You can't. I think my first real year, I did. I averaged 10 rentals a month, so I did almost 120 rentals, and I did
Wow.
not keep up with all those people. And so just imagine if half of those people ended up buying houses. It would have been a
Right.
lot better. And I just kept up with them, not with a database, but just remembering them. And I got a pretty good memory for that stuff, but I'm not remembering 120 different rental clients. So that's a big one. I wish I would have done more of that. Another thing too is just working on the business instead of in the business. That was a
Mm,
big thing for me that I kind of, was just go, 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 next transaction, just kept working it as the transaction aspect and not thinking about the business in full. And, I made a lot of good money, doing a lot of deals, but I think it's a lot better to work smarter than harder now that I'm seeing things. And I think that would help me in the future to maybe take a step back and work less weekends to work more, like I said, on the business than in the business. And then again, that kind of translates to three things. The foundation, I think that goes with all three of these work together, but getting that base foundation and good people around you. You're seeing that all across the country right now. It's hard to get good people to hire, and that's important. You got to have good people around you because it is a team. It's not an individual thing. So you got to have the team around you. And so if you have a good, solid team around you, then everything's going to be better.
Yeah, such great points. I wish I had a lot of the top producers like yourself say, get it that CRM organized and rocking right from the beginning. I love that work not just in your business, but on your business and foundation. Those foundational stuff never goes away. You always have to be good at those, right?
Absolutely. I think I've waited way, way too long to hire, my first transaction coordinator assistant because I was thinking I could do it all myself. And I mean, I was doing it for a long time without even a transaction coordinator. I was doing all the transactions myself. That was also too when I think I only had one kid. So at nighttime I would handle all the transactions side of things, and that definitely held back my elevation as an agent. Getting to a better place of trying to do it all myself and not trusting other people to do the work. So I think that's important too. Is pushing those kinds of things onto other people and not holding on to everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, very few people have your drive and commitment level. So it's probably a tough thing to turn that over. Just like, starting your team, that was trial and error too. Like you went through some people and now you've got a solid team that's been sticking with you for a while, or sticking
Yeah.
to it, I should say.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, good. Well, okay, so we're at time, man. I just wanted to say thank you very much for taking time out today to do this interview. I'm sure people got some good stuff. I got those 3 really good points, which I'm going to blast all over social media with the company email and everything else. Any final words you want to leave these wonderful people?
I'm good. Just, the biggest thing right now with the craziness of the market is just be a solid agent, respect your other agent on the other side of the transaction. And remember that clients don't do this every single day. We do. And so you gotta walk people through things. And I think just that customer service aspect is really, really lacking in our business right now. And I
Oh,
think people
God.
need to bring that back because it's been, I don't know. It's kind of disheartening the last 2 years. It's been the worst I've ever seen it working with, poor agents on the other transaction because it's just, they don't care. It's all about the money, which look, I like money too, but you need to make sure you're taking care of these clients and they will come back to you.
Yeah.
Our whole thing is when I get done with the transaction, I tell every client this, I want you to get done and go, Jesus, Matt and his team are awesome. We're going to refer them to all of our friends and family. And so if I think you got that mindset, no matter whether it's, a condo listing or a multi-million dollar listing, treat everyone the same. And you're going to get that referral business. I think the biggest compliment I ever had was a couple of years ago. And a client told me, holy cow, we thought you did no business. We thought we were your only client. And I was like, man, that's pretty
Nice.
cool. That they thought that because I was so involved with them. So I think just, that customer service aspect needs to really, really come back to our business and treat clients in a better way. And the other agents on the other side of the transaction too.
Yeah, it's just funny you say that because that's such a great point. NAR even says 78% of all agents never call their client after the closing again. Isn't that crazy? Again.
It's a
Never mind.
massive mistake.
Yeah, it really is.
That's your
Well,
gold mine.
my theory is the reason they don't call is because of everything you just said. They don't do what you do during the transaction, so it'd almost be embarrassing to call them after. Where if you're doing an incredible job, it's an easy call to make after a closing, right?
Absolutely. You have that call. You need to have your follow up calls after the fact too, the 6 months a year just to stay in there. People at the end of the day, they want to work with somebody who's friendly and if they can trust you, because you're following up with them, making sure you're in contact with them. And that's what leads into your CRM, put those reminders in just to give a follow-up check-in email, follow-up call, make sure they're doing okay. Because that's the cheapest way to get more business is word of mouth. You don't have to pay a
Yeah.
dime for that. You just stay in with those past clients and they'll continue to refer you other clients. I think that's a big deal.
Such a fundamental part of the business that some people get, some people don't. Obviously, you do, and that's why you're a huge success and you continue to grow every single year. So, Thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it. You're the man. Everybody else, we'll
Cool.
do this again next week. And Matt, hey, keep rocking it, my man. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.